This one's for the culture. Me and wifey in the room thinking of a master plan, thinking how we can influence the culture from where we stand. Knowing that our steps are ordered by the master's hand, still 10 toes down, we ain't switching up the stance. The mission of this music ain't just to make them dance, trying to tell them about the rock, cause they build.
And welcome to the latest episode of The Bond Chronicles. I am Mr. Bond Chronicles, your host, and I am excited to be here with my host,
Mrs. Bond Chronicles.
And we are here for episode 56, and this will be a more lighthearted episode. Hopefully a lot less yelling and contention, and a lot more cohesiveness, love, and unity is what we are going for here today. So let's get into it. So we've had quite a few award shows that have come and gone, and one upcoming. I think the Billboards will have aired. Did they air this weekend? When did the Billboards air?
I think they're next weekend.
Are they? Because I know the nominations came out, which we will get to, because those are funny to me. But I want to make sure that we have the right date. So, they're not till May 15th. They're forever.
Oh, okay. They're a little bit
all right.
way.
Even better. So we'll touch base with that a long time from now, but then that'll be around Mother's Day. So guess we got to talk about moms. What? Nothing. Great.
Nothing.
But no, exciting episode that we have for you. So we're going to start with the Grammys. So the Grammys did take place this past week. Was it LA, Vegas? Do you know where it was?
LA. They're typically in LA.
All right. Nope, I think it was in Vegas because that's where Jay Prince said that they wanted to do their Grammy alternate thing. Does it have it on there in your article there? You got a bunch of pop-ups.
Yeah.
Boom, it is in Vegas. So the Grammys, which were in Vegas, and there were some very interesting moments, to say the least. I will start by saying I was shocked for a number of the winners. I was shocked at who got a chance to be seen and who wasn't seen. But I was also shocked at who didn't win. Given the history of recent award shows, I guess they got voter fatigue for some of the acts who had been winning. So I wasn't upset, but I was surprised.
Because the last 2 years, I feel like what Meg last year cleaned up, and you can feel however you feel about Meg, but she cleaned up last award season, and she wasn't anywhere this year
because she didn't make any music.
Yeah, but that doesn't seem to really matter these days.
They still snuck her lovely self in there, but she lost, as she should have been losing, in my opinion. So let's get right to it. We talked about this on quite a few episodes ago, on Silk Sonic and their song, Her, who I still love and adore. Jasmine Sullivan and her album, which I will get to that in a minute. But overall, some big names won some big awards. And so we'll start with the record and song of the year went to Silk Sonic. And they should be very grateful that they had that song, because that album wasn't that good, in my opinion. And in most cases, because you don't hear anything else about it since it released. But they did what they had to do. They made a phenomenal song, absolutely smash hit. And they took home the two biggest individual song awards you could get in the night. Yeah. So that's my 2 cents. What were your 2 cents on that, considering they went against John Baptiste's Freedom, which won Album of the Year? I will definitely get to that in due time. Peaches by Justin Bieber. I don't think Bieber won anything. Olivia Rodrigo, Driver's License. Lil Nas X, Happier Than Ever. Billie Eilish, Kiss Me More. Doja Cat and SZA. And some other losers that aren't worth being talked about on our platform. So that was for record of the year. Song of the year, they had Bad Habits by Ed Sheeran. No surprise there. A Beautiful Noise, Alicia Keys featuring Brandy Carlisle. Never even heard it. Then we got Driver's License again. Fight for You by her. Not her best song, but whatever. And then a bunch of retreads over the ones from the last category. Good.
And I'm not sure why they use Fight for You because that was on the Judas and the Black Messiah soundtrack.
It was.
And so she won for the same song last year. So I was really confused as to how it was in the running again this year for that particular song. And I don't know, like you said, I'm not really super surprised at Silk Sonic winning. It was a huge song. Like, it was everywhere. It was the only thing they ever performed. I personally did not hate the album as much as you did. I enjoyed it, but not for this award. I don't think they deserved it for this award. And yeah, everybody else I personally don't listen to. Like, I have no idea. I think I have seen Olivia Rodrigo at this point.
Yeah.
But like actually listen to her music, she's not in my playlist.
Has she popped up on any festivals? I feel like I haven't seen her name.
I have no idea who the girl is.
I think she's young.
Well, she's definitely young.
I mean, I don't know if that's a given.
No, well, yes, she is young. Because at least I would have at least recognized her name if she was older.
Is she a Disney kid or something? No one knows. No one cares because she didn't win that particular category. She did win, I think, Best New Artist. So congratulations to her for that. So moving right along, congratulations to Silk Sonic on making a smash song. You did that. You deserved it. And then the next biggest award, and I guess you would say is the biggest award, but Album of the Year. So I know we've told you not to put a lot of stock into award shows because they're run by idiots and people with agendas, which is why Meg won a bunch of awards in the previous cycle, as far as I'm concerned. But this was a loaded category. I'm not going to shortchange the people here. John Baptiste, We Are. Love for Sale, Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga. I could have done without. Justice, Justin Bieber, huge artist. Planet Her, Doja Cat, dope album, huge artist at this moment. Happier Than Ever, Billie Eilish, huge artist at this moment. Back of My Mind, y'all know how I feel about her. The album was so good, she toured it twice. That's how great the album is. Montero by Lil Nas X. I say nothing. Sour, Olivia Rodrigo. You keep hearing her lovely girl's name, so maybe she's decent. Evermore by Taylor Swift. Yeah, didn't love it. Didn't listen to it really, but
I was gonna say, when did you listen to it?
I've heard like 2 or 3 songs on it, and she's not my type.
Not a thing.
I ain't got no type, but she's not it. And then finally, Donda, which I think we all know how I feel. So obviously, I had a number of fan favorites in this group. Her, love her. Bieber, big Bieber fan. But I think we said a long time ago, he didn't deserve to be in this category, given the other albums. And then for me, Donda. So still play it, still love it. There's been a Donda 2 since. Good, not as great, still unfinished. Not going to get into that. I watched listening parties for Donda, as did a ton of other people.
What was it? 3 of them, right?
3 of them. We saw sold out events for Donda for listening parties. We saw it drop on a Sunday and still sell more than almost any other album outside of Adele, who was not categorized for anything. Yeah. Maybe she was too late in her submission because she came a little after Donda and CLB. But
so it'll be on next year's Grammy list,
and it better not win nothing. You need to figure out how to get your residency back because you still ain't did right by them people. Conversation for another day. I've watched it on commercials. I hear songs in my church.
Yeah.
I have.
It's literally everywhere.
It's everywhere. I don't know many of the songs off of We Are.
How many? No. It's like when he won, we were both standing at the TV like, who? So you've since listened to a song?
No, actually, I haven't.
So you haven't heard any of this man's
music? I have not seen one person on social media say, hey, yo, go listen to that John Baptiste. It's fire, dude. Like,
what was that? It's fire, dude.
Yeah, that's what people say. Like when they're hype. I haven't seen his name on any festival lineup. I don't know that he's gone on any tour. I don't know what it sold. I know nothing about this album.
About this music.
But he won.
Album of the year.
Album of the year. And the same way I'm laughing, had you seen him when they announced his name, he also knew he did not deserve this award. So what can I say? I am happy for him. This is a huge win. Yesterday's price to book John Baptiste
his price
is not today's price.
And he's also the first Black person who's won that award in like 15 years.
Yes, he is.
So apparently we are missing out on an amazing artist.
No, we're not.
I mean, we got to listen to it to decide if we are or we aren't.
I watched social media respond to this announcement. I don't know that I saw him go on any talk show tour after this past week, after his win. I didn't see him pop up on any shows. He just faded into the background. Like, okay, I'm not going to talk because I'll piss some people off who I know should have won this award. It was similar to when Macklemore beat Good Kid, Mad City, and it was like 3 or 4 other far superior albums, and he basically said, like, I shouldn't be up here. And John Baptiste, he was humble, he was thankful, he gave a very generic, broad, everybody enjoys music.
I listened to everybody's album who was nominated, and everybody had a project that moved me. Yeah. And I'm just like, okay, you're laying it on just a little thick. It's cool, we get it.
Cover all your bases, play the game, and he's been around for a while. I did a little
bit of research.
He's a talented musician, been around for a while, so more power to him.
Did you see how many Grammys he had prior to?
No.
Okay.
How many did he have?
I mean, I was just wondering if you knew off the top of your head. Now I'm curious to know because if you're saying he's not new,
no, I believe he's been around for quite some time. But I don't know how many he's won. But it's fitting. This Grammys was. I don't know that the ratings have come out for. I know the Oscar ratings they said were barely up from the year before. I did not hear anybody of relevance really talking about any of the performances. I didn't hear anybody saying, "Hey, did you go see that?" I believe her performed at this one, and I did want to go back and see it, but it wasn't like people were ranting and raving for it. Did you find something?
Yeah, so he won 5 awards the other night.
Great.
So, and then I think he also performed too.
He did. He had a very shiny outfit.
He had a good. So he had a good night at the Grammys.
Phenomenal night.
Yeah.
But when the Best American Roots album beats.
Oh, and he was on Colbert.
Was he?
Yeah.
This week?
3 days ago.
Lovely. Good for him. Yeah. So obviously I feel Donda was robbed. It's a shame. I'm not surprised. We all knew Ye was not going to be in attendance because he couldn't perform because politics are politics. I don't think we covered the Trevor Noah or DL Hughley slights of Ye in his responses. But we knew he wasn't going to be there. But he won other categories, which we'll get to in a minute. So it was just a mess for me. The Grammys were a mess. They messed it up again. And they gave us a token in John Baptiste. And sorry, John, I got to call it how I see it. You were a token. It was 15 years without a black person. They could not give it to Ye, so they gave it to you. They should have given us her. She would have been more deserving as far as I'm concerned. But I don't know if she's a big enough artist yet to win that award. Like,
I can't say that's necessarily true. Like, because I'm looking at everything that Jon Batiste has done. He also has an Academy Award. He's got a BAFTA. He's got, you know, some accolades.
He won for Soul because he was the curator of that soundtrack.
Okay, and that was a really good soundtrack.
Yeah, and who in regular America knew that he did that?
Well, obviously, he's not as well known as some of the other people. But I don't want to sit here and say, oh, he was completely undeserving just because we don't listen to it.
His album was not deserving of this award.
It's just like when Beck won over Beyonce and Adele won over Beyonce, same category, 2 different albums. Everyone had heard of Adele, so like nobody really was like, oh, I can't believe this, you know, up at arms. But when Beck won it, I think, like, I remember, like, the quote-unquote scandal behind it because I think Beyonce had just come out. And then it was everywhere. Everybody loved it. The performances, everything. And then at the Grammys, Beck won. And people made the case that Beck is, like, he writes all his own music. He produces all his own music. Like, he is this all-inclusive person that is really musically talented. And apparently he put out a really good project. I didn't listen to it. I didn't know anything about it. But in the circles of the people who obviously are more influential, he won that day.
What does that got to do with anything?
And so to us, Beck is nobody. To us, Jon Batiste is nobody because we don't listen to that music. But apparently it was big enough to beat out all these other albums.
Because of politics. Because the same argument she was just making, Ye makes his own music. He is musically inclined. So that's a false equivalency.
But, I mean, I won't disagree that a lot of that probably was politics. We know now that he's not doing Coachella.
Her, like, makes her own music. She plays the guitar.
Yeah.
She performs well. She's on tour, on a world tour with Coldplay.
Yes.
So I'm not understanding. Beck robbed Beyonce. He should have lost. Just like Beyonce should have beat Taylor Swift when she lost. The same way Macklemore should not have won. Losers win all the time.
Right. So I was just saying that not losers win all the time. I'm just saying, generally speaking, that just because we didn't appreciate the music that those people put out doesn't mean it necessarily sucks. It just means we don't listen.
No. Let me be clear. I'm not saying his album sucked.
Okay. Well, I mean,
I'm saying it shouldn't have won. There's a difference. Like, Leave the Door Open was a great song.
Yeah.
There were other. Peaches was a huge song. I heard it everywhere for a while.
But it got on my nerves, so I wasn't upset that it lost.
I agree with you. My point was, it was a popular, good song. But Leave the Door Open was better. Jon Batiste might have that might have been the greatest album he's ever made. It was not better than Back of My Mind or Donda, period. So that's my point. I don't want to step on him like he's trash. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying he's, I don't want to be disrespectful here. He's, keep trying to say things that I don't want to be too negative. I don't know. I don't know what to say here, but he just didn't deserve it. So shout out to him. You won. Run, hide. Don't talk too much, too crazy, because we know you didn't deserve it, but you won it. Put it on the plaque. Put it in your contracts. Make your money off of it, young man or older man. You think he's older than us. Yeah. But do what you got to do with it. But we all know.
So, hypothetically speaking, what if he comes out with another album and you know, just happen to listen to it, you hear his music, and you decide, oh my goodness, this is really good. Would you then go back and listen to the project that beat all the other?
I'm going to go back and listen to it.
Oh, okay. So you're going to listen to it regardless.
I owe it to him to listen. And I will report back to you guys potentially on the next episode with my findings. But I know how back of my mind and Donda made me
back
feel.
Back of my mind was like, I thought it deserved to win. Like, when I looked at the list, I was like, back of my mind, easy. This shouldn't even be.
So we're going to get to that because that happened in 2 categories where these 2 albums were nominated for Album of the Year.
Yeah.
And then lost in their own category, which to me makes absolutely no sense. But we aren't there. Actually, we are there. So, best rap album. Another political dud, but for a bigger reason than I think initially was. So what we saw at this, what I saw and what most people saw was this Grammys was pretty lacking of hip hop in appearances. We all knew after the Oscars, Beyonce was not about to show up to another award show. She's had quite a few great moments at award shows. We knew Ye was not going to show up. We also probably knew that the Kardashians were not going to show up. We knew that J. Cole, who had a show the same night, was not going to show up. You know what J. Cole also had at his festival? A bunch of other hip-hop artists performing. So they weren't going to show up.
There.
I think Lil Durk and Lil Baby,
they were here in town.
Were in town, had shows. So, yes, the Grammys were rescheduled, but there was also a women's national championship game going on at the same time. So I don't think the Grammys could have picked a worse night of the year to host this event outside of maybe Super Bowl Sunday, which wouldn't have made sense anyway. So I get it. What I also will say is other genres were there. Hip hop was not. And I think for good reason. And that was reiterated by every capacity because let me be clear. Hip hop is the biggest genre in this country. I know there might be more white people. I know what country music represents, maybe, and I'm not going to call out specific locations because I don't want to disrespect nobody. I understand what rock was and what it represented in alternative rock and Kiss and all these other great bands that have existed in the course of time. I understand what pop music does and what the NSYNCs and the BTSs and the Backstreet Boys and all those other peoples have done. Let's be very, very clear. Hip hop runs music in this country. Can't speak to any other country. When you talk culture, when you talk impact, when you talk influence, hip hop runs this country. And I know that might be hard for a lot of people out there because you don't like the lyrics, you don't like the drill sound, you don't like the gangster rap, you don't like the objectifying of women, you don't like the cussing and profanity, you don't like the messages that are detailed, and I can agree with all of that. But you are delusional if you don't believe that hip hop is the biggest genre of music in this country. And for hip hop to not have a single award shown on TV for hip hop album of the year is a disgrace. It's absolutely ridiculous that we found out and DJ Drama found out about his win for best rap album of the year at J. Cole's festival in an interview. Not because he was on TV, not because it was broadcast to the world. The Grammys just told the world, hip hop's a throwaway award because we don't even see fit to air it on our 2-hour-long or 3-hour-long network. That's absurd. It's disgraceful. It's disrespectful. And that's why I know hip hop people really came to your award show. And I hope and pray that after what Jay Prince said going forward, I hope y'all got to compete with a real hip hop event that night going forward. Where the biggest and brightest, the Jay-Z's, the Beyoncé's, the Ye's, the Coles, the Waynes, the Babies, the Diddy's, the Gambit, the Babies, the Dirks, they all perform. And let's see how your ratings do on a black-owned, whether it be Revolt, whether it be on a BET, which isn't actually black-owned anymore.
Yeah.
But whatever, it is on Triller for all I care. I don't care. Something has to be done. Because that, although, Tyler, you robbed the cradle, buddy, you didn't even have your moment, and you deserve that. And so it is nauseating to continue to see, coming off the heels of the Oscars, them to schedule it in such a way, knowing the impact of what hip-hop has done. Like, it's sickening the way in which they carried it and handled it. And it's deplorable. And I hope somebody wakes up and takes notice, because soon enough, won't nobody care about your dumb show when we got a better show going at the same exact time. That's all I got.
There's a little sauce on that. You feel away, it sounds like. I don't know. Like, it's like a catch-22. Like, I don't care about the Grammys, because 9 times out of 10, I feel like they got it wrong. I know I'm not the only person. We talk about it on our podcast. People talk about it all the time, that these award shows are just super out of touch with the people who are actually consuming, whatever it may be. And so I listened to Tyler's album. I enjoyed Tyler's album. I listened to J. Cole's album, obviously. I'm a bigger J. Cole fan. If I'm looking at this objectively, honestly, that category was really strong.
Probably the strongest.
Yeah. I'm not necessarily upset that Tyler won, because
he shouldn't have won.
He
shouldn't have been the second best album. I would argue he shouldn't have been the third best album.
It was a solid album. And looking at what else was nominated in the list, it's a solid album. I would not have said it was better than Donda, but I think I liked it more. I definitely liked it more than Certified Lover Boy.
That was the worst in the category.
I don't even know why it was nominated.
Because it's Drake, and it sold a million. It sold the most.
I mean, I get it. I'm just saying.
I'm just explaining. That's why. That's the only reason. If that album was made by anybody else, it's not in this category.
It's not doing anything. So I didn't think Tyler would win, but coming off of the year that he's just had with this album and all the other things that he was able to, parlay it into, I can see why. J. Cole, he doesn't play the politics. Nas, he doesn't play the politics. Kanye definitely doesn't play the politics.
I disagree on Nas, because Nas did perform at the Grammys, but Nas has been disrespected by the Grammys for years. So
he wants to perform at the Grammys. At this point in his life, he can. He's totally entitled to. And so it's like, dang, I really wanted J. Cole to win, because I feel like J. Cole has been snubbed quite a few times as far as, records and singles, and then his full-on albums. Mm-hmm. And he's only got one win.
He has a Grammy?
One. And it was
You don't know what J. Cole's won Grammys for?
Oh, it was for the 21 Savage song. A lot.
Oh. So it wasn't even his song.
It wasn't even his song.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I already feel a way about the Grammys. So this whole rap album, any of the hip hop awards, R&B awards, like they have Doja. No, I think that
was a different award show.
It was a different award show. Okay.
Which they can't figure out any of these categories.
How they want to. Yeah, they don't know what they want Doja to be.
She was pop at this award show. She was R&B at one award show. She's pop at this one.
Yeah.
Which is where she belongs. She's not an R&B.
I wouldn't say R&B or hip hop, but that just goes to speak to what we're dealing with. So I'm not terribly surprised that I don't really agree with the top award winners.
So I'll go to the next part. More my take on that. Okay.
Yeah.
I am not nearly the J. Cole fan that she is, but he had a better album, period, versus Tyler. And I've listened to both multiple times. It's just a better album. The off season was better, but then to take it a step further, For best rap performance, I like Baby Keem. I like Kendrick. I think they're talented. I do. But there's no way you can tell me that Family Ties is a better rap performance or song than My Life. The other two in the category were throwaways. I don't know how in the world they've made it into this category. They are going to keep them a woman or something because Up and Thought stuff. There's absolutely no way.
But that's what I was saying. I don't understand how Up is in this category. I don't understand how Up is even in this year's award show when that song came out like 3 years ago.
Do you know how many rap songs performances we had last year? Phenomenal rap songs. Like, if you want a big artist, put Drake in there. He had some stuff on that mixtape that was dope. Like, there were a ton of opportunities to have other massive artists. Mm-hmm. And they came up with a Meg and a Cardi song. Like, what are y'all doing? Thank God. Oh, none of them were there. I think Meg was there. Of course, Meg's there. Like, she got to hold on to every second of fame she got left. Well, she has till November, I guess. September, whenever the next. We're not going to go there.
At the end of the day, My Life was the better song.
Not even. That's not even close. And that's no disrespect to Baby Keem, but there was, I forget what the phrase is on that song. If you go listen to the song, they're like just talking foolishness.
Yes.
Top of the morning, top of the morning.
Like,
what are we doing? What are we doing? That's what you think of rap? That is the best rap performance? Like, stop. We have got to do better. How Hurricane is not on here, if you're going to put My Life, those are super similar songs. Mm-hmm. Like, replace Up. It's just infuriating. Best rap performance, the Nas and Lauryn Hill song. Super dope song. That needs to be getting some play and credit here. Nas performed one mic. He had to perform a song from before most of our audience was probably born. Like, what are y'all?
I mean, he didn't have to.
I was just joking. But man, it's just so disappointing. Go ahead.
I don't.
Go ahead.
You had because you've got it coming up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, J. Cole. I'm sorry.
I am too. Like I said, obviously it's dope that Baby Keem. I hope his career is worthy of this accolade that he's gotten so early on. That's how I'll put it.
Another name that was not mentioned on any of these. DJ Khaled had a heck of a collab album. There's a couple massive songs. Like,
that's Super Black though.
And then he had a song with Post.
Oh yeah, you're right.
With Post and I think Meg's on there. Like, you got some commercial crossover people. Mm-hmm. But for best rap song, we get Best Friend by Saweetie and Doja Cat. Let's be clear. That shouldn't be in this category. Best rap song according to who? Like, I just don't understand. And I thought Jail, when I first heard it at the first listening party, I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
But let's not kid ourselves. That was not the best song on the album. Off the Grid is probably the best song on the album. Where the heck is that? You got Or Hurricane. That's also a rap song. Like, there was so many misses. And there were so many people that put out music last year. And I'm really focused on some of the big ones that I think could win. But there was just... surprisingly, I don't know that it was nominated very many places. It was Way Too Sexy. I'm surprised that didn't get.
I'm glad that wasn't a thing.
But that should have been more than Up or Thought stuff or Best Friend or even the Bath Salt song. Like, I was underwhelmed by Jay-Z's verse. I know a lot of people were really excited at the time, but I just don't know what they're doing. They're clearly out of touch completely with hip hop and rap, which brings me to R&B, which we said at the time was a really deep, tough category because hip hop and R&B are the biggest genres of music in this country. I don't care what y'all say. Even what's his name? Dirk had Morgan Wallen on his album. We're crossing over everywhere.
It's the country singer, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's just nuts what hip hop has done and its impact. But it was a tough category. And you know what they did because they are such losers. And something I didn't know you could even have, and I didn't watch it. So I don't know if this was before. Is this broadcast? Do you know? Because I haven't seen the video of this anywhere.
I don't know. I would assume it was broadcast because they won several awards last night, and they were there, and they were.
It wasn't last night, but
well, you know what I'm saying. They were in like full on Silk Sonic character mode, so they probably did broadcast it.
I'm gonna have to try and Google this, or someone send me the link. But for some godforsaken reason, best R&B performance was a tie. A tie. What?
It tied.
Like, why the heck are we having an award show if we're going to just give out ties? Like, I understand what y'all are saying, but if you're going to leave the door open, let it win. Like, how does it win song and record of the year, but now it doesn't win best R&B performance?
But that's the thing. Like, that category.
It won best R&B song.
It won best R&B song.
It won best record, best song of the year.
So it's like.
And if we're talking performance, that is the one it should have won.
Yeah.
Because I've seen them perform the song that sound like. I get it. It's a tough year for the Hers, the Jasmines, the Snows. You ran into a buzzsaw with a massive song. It sucks.
I think it's not even just the fact that Leave the Door Open was out. It was all this other really good R&B music was out. And because right now women are killing the R&B scene, the fact that Leave the Door Open was as big as it was, even over Back of My Mind, even over all of the Snow records that people really liked.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I've just had an epiphany.
Oh, man. What's going on?
Can you read the names of the albums for best R&B album? Can you read them to the people?
Snow Allegra, John Batiste.
Whoa, stop there. You're saying John Batiste was nominated for best R&B album?
Yes.
In the same category as her for Back of My Mind?
Yes.
And are you telling me that neither of those albums?
Well, Fight for You isn't on Back of My Mind. Fight for You is on, again, it's on the.
What does that have to do with this? Album of the year.
Right. But Jasmine was nominated for that record, but record of the year for Fight for You.
No. John Baptiste's album.
Right.
Was the album of the year.
Right. But the category that category it wasn't Back of My Mind, it was Fight for You. Different
Fight for You is not an album. Hold on.
You're confusing the category.
Hold on. Let me please, y'all better hope I'm wrong. Y'all better hope I'm wrong. No. Album of the year, Back of My Mind.
Oh, okay. So what was Fight for You nominated for?
That was just a song.
Just okay.
Fight for You was nominated for Song of the Year.
Right.
Okay, so now that you've tried to derail.
I wasn't trying to derail. I was confused as far as the nominations.
Right. All right, I know I wasn't tripping. So what you guys mean to tell me
that John Baptiste.
That John
put a P in there.
Is there no P?
There's no P.
John Batiste. John Batiste won Album of the Year, but lost Best R&B Album to a song that was not even nominated for Album of the Year. The same thing happened with Best Rap Album. Donda was nominated for Album of the Year, but did not win Best Rap Album. So how is an album that's better than Donda not nominated for Album of the Year. It doesn't make any sense. And I didn't realize until I was just reading this that John Baptiste was nominated for Best R&B Album and he lost.
I mean, again, we have not heard the album.
You can't win Album of the Year and lose your own category.
I do see the error in that thinking, yes.
You didn't even have how can you have the best album of the year? You don't even have the best R&B album of the year. Like, that is nuts. And this is why the Grammys suck, because that's absurd. Absolutely absurd.
Still feeling a little spicy.
I can't believe this. I was mad. Like, y'all don't understand. Like, I was mad that he won. I was happy for him, but I was mad that he won.
Yeah.
Because there were better albums. And I've made that very clear. But now that I see this, I'm even more mad. Man, I wish I knew the address of the people who voted for this. Because my, oh my, I would egg their homes or something. This is
not
ridiculous. They need to have their voting abilities taken away, just like Will Smith gave his away. They need to give theirs up. They cannot look at themselves in the mirror with what we are reading here. And I don't care about any of the other categories because they're not that important to us.
I mean, I would like to talk about some of the other categories.
Well, I don't have a lot of commentary because I don't listen to that stuff. But I can tell you that any other winner is invalidated because they are simply blowing this like a $2 woman on the streets of Las Vegas. This is absurd.
Where did you get that little analogy from, sir?
I don't know. It's like a thing.
Is it? I don't think I've ever heard it before.
You know, I can use more vulgar terms, but
yeah.
I
was gonna say I've heard other things.
Yeah, so I tweaked it for our audience.
To make it more appropriate.
Yeah, but oh my God, this is disgusting. And I hope a black person never goes to the Grammys again. I don't care what category in. This is the worst. You wanted to go through some other categories, so I'm done with the stuff that I know and really care about. So we can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Thanks for setting it up, babe. I guess that was a good introduction. No, I didn't want to go deep into the other categories because I know that you don't listen to them. But I think it's dope that Chris Stapleton won for, I think he cleaned up in almost all of the country categories except for one. Yeah. And I love his last album. I thought it was really good. Best rock performance. I didn't know that Chris Cornell had projects out. I mean, because he passed away. So
I didn't know he is.
Never mind. Chris Cornell was in the best rock performance categories, and I was unaware, did not know. But the Foo Fighters, I think, took everything in those three categories. Mm-hmm. Best rock album, best rock song, best rock performance, which is pretty dope. And it was probably rough because their drummer just passed away, Taylor Hawkins is his name. I think he passed away like a week ago.
Dang. Rest in peace. Yeah, thoughts and prayers.
Dope. Because he's also was part of other bands too, but he's mostly known from the Foo Fighters. So I thought it was dope that they were able to take home those awards, even though Taylor wasn't there to celebrate with them. I talked about country. Yeah, those were other categories that I'm interested in. But did you want to continue your
Yeah, so I'm just super annoyed. And the other part to this that is super confusing to me, and I was trying to find it, but they don't make it really easy to find the winners of these award shows because they suck. But yeah, once you get in the Grammy site, it kind of like locks you in. You can't get out of it. I was trying to find for the gospel winners.
Oh,
or the Christian. No, it's not. CNN doesn't care about Christianity, apparently. So I was trying to see if I could find it, but I may not. Everyone says complete list, but they don't care about God, so they don't have the God stuff. All right, so I think I was able to find out. I apologize, you guys, thank you for bearing with us through this technical difficulty as we're trying to give glory to God. But this doesn't have the categories it was in. But the point is, BB and CeCe Winans won a ton for a bunch of stuff, and Ye didn't win any because he wasn't nominated for any Christian gospel categories. However, actually, there was one robbery because We Win didn't win. And
do you remember the song?
No, I know that was a song. Gyra was in the category. We Win.
Gyra, yeah.
And they both lost to another song that it shouldn't have lost to. But again, they don't know hip hop, so I wouldn't expect them to know which song should have won. Let me see. Best Gospel Roots. That is not it. Best Gospel Performance winner, CC. No, that's not it. Best Contemporary Christian Album. That is not it either. But Elevation won. So congrats to him for Best Contemporary Christian Album. Okay, so Best Contemporary Christian Music, Performance, or Song. We had Hold Us Together, her and Torrin Wells. Huge song. We had Kurt Franklin, Lil Baby, We Win. We had Gyra from Elevation Worship. And you know who won? CeCe Winans for Believe For It. So, contemporary Christian music. I love CeCe. CeCe's great.
She is.
CeCe has the verses coming up.
She does, yeah.
May or may not watch it. Don't think it's going to be super competitive. But it is absurd to think. And I like We Win. I think We Win was a phenomenal song, and I liked it better.
Yeah.
But by no means is that a bigger song than Gyra. Gyra is everywhere.
If you're in that scene.
If you're in a contemporary Christian scene, it's there. Like Maverick City and Elevation, it doesn't get much bigger in contemporary Christian than that.
I love Maverick City.
So they just failed at every turn. But my point in this is we talked about the Billboard Awards, which are coming up. And we talked about the fact that Ye West was not nominated at the Grammys for any Christian categories. So what I would like to do is bring your attention to the Billboard. Go ahead.
Because when you go to listen to his album, where is it listed?
Well, I go to Apple Music. What do you mean?
What genre is it listed in?
I'm going to explain to you why.
But what genre is it listed in?
You tell me, because you're asking me.
It's in the rap genre. They don't put it under gospel. It was on the rap charts before people decided that it could even go on the contemporary Christian charts or whatever. And as compared to the other people in that category, and given how people feel about whether or not it deserved to be a Christian album, I'm not surprised that he didn't even get nominated. Now, and that's just surface level, because then when you go and you listen to the songs and you listen to the lyrics, you know, it's way more positive than what people were giving it credit for.
So you just fell into the trap.
Jeez,
I guess you didn't read the notes.
I did.
So what I'm going to now turn our attention to is the Billboard Music Awards Christian categories. So Ye was nominated 10 times. Do this math here. He was nominated 10 times in 4 categories. So, top gospel song. Let me read you the nominees. We have Elevation Worship in Maverick City, Gyra. God, I don't know how that's now gospel, but apparently that's a gospel song.
No, yeah.
That's a gospel song?
I mean, the way that they classify it nowadays, it makes sense as the soulful way that, yeah, I could see that.
Okay. So let me name the other gospel songs in the category. Yay. Hurricane. Yay. Moon. Yay. Praise God. And last but certainly not least, for top gospel song, Yay. Off the Grid. So
he's got really good chances of winning.
No, he has an 80% chance. What I'm confused at is how two different pillars of music culture in the Grammys and Billboard have a vast difference in this category. And then this is going to be one of those moments I might have to lean to the Grammys. There's no way in my mind you can tell me Off the Grid is a gospel song. How?
I'm not saying that I agree that it is, but Kanye wanted the entire album to be considered a gospel album.
I think it is.
And so I'm sure in that realm, like you said, it did well. It's everywhere. So if you're listening, if you're going by the charts and what the album is, whatever the album is classified as, there's obviously it's classified as rap, but what's the secondary genre and all of that? So going based on streams and all of that, and it's actually classified as a gospel album, it worked out in Kanye's favor.
So there's more to that, and that let us continue. Top Christian album. Carrie Underwood, My Savior. CeCe Winans, Believe For It. Elevation Worship, Phil Wickham, Yay Donda.
Do you know who Phil Wickham is?
No.
Oh, okay. I don't either. I was just wondering if you knew.
Almost the same exact group. Actually, let me take it a step further. For top gospel album, Elevation Worship is nominated, and Maverick City is nominated in 3 different albums. CeCe Winans, Believe For It, Yay Donda. And top Christian song, let's name off the top 5 Christian song nominees. Ann Wilson, My Jesus. Never heard of it? Sure, it's great. And the 4 Yay songs from before. Like, as a Christian, I don't know what to think here. Like, I don't listen to the volume of Christian music that I once listened to because it's not as readily available in streaming, and some of the artists that I really enjoyed didn't put out projects in the last year. But are you meaning to tell me that there was no other gospel songs other than 4 Yays and Jireh?
Coming in hot?
That's like
I know
years
how,
old.
but considering that Up and
like
songs were available to be nominated,
that
was everywhere too.
I'm just so confused by these award shows and this stuff. And I know Billboard is based on charts, and so for that reason, Ye has to win everything. If we're going off charts, I can't imagine that Jireh sold or streamed more than Donda or Off the Grid, which is, I know it's platinum. I don't know if Jireh went platinum or not. But I'm just really surprised at, when I look at Billboard for top Christian albums, Donda's number 1. And it's been number 1 for 27 weeks.
Long time.
So
people love it. I mean,
I would suffice it to say it should win all the Billboard Awards. Go ahead.
So the question is, are you more upset? Like, because you want people to listen to the album. There are a lot of people who refuse to listen to Donda because it was Kanye West. But if it wins all these Billboard Awards for best Christian, blah, 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 like, people who were refusing to listen to it before, like, I feel like you have, like, the same way you feel about John Batiste. You have no idea who this man is, but somehow he just beat out all these other albums with this album. You have to go and listen to it now. Do you feel like this is what's going to happen for Kanye and Donda, or do you think people will still ignore it?
So for me, I think it's the opposite. I think for John Baptiste, he hopefully will get a huge swoon in streams. Hopefully, he owns his music. He'll make some money.
Yeah, that would be great.
I think the opposite is true of Christian music, where there are a lot of dope Christian artists. And they don't necessarily get the shine and respect they deserve, especially when it comes to Christian rap. So to have a mega superstar like Ye winning all the awards from them, I don't like it. And when he's in 4 of the 5 options, even if he wins all the awards, at least put some people up there. Like, what is that award show going to be like?
Well, one, they're probably not banking on him being there.
Which is even more of a reason to not have him in every single category.
Confused I guess at this point, it's like, if we don't want to put any effort into it, it won't even air on the TV, just like the other hip hop awards didn't.
In so many words, they could invite CeCe Winans, Maverick City, Ye, and that's the award show. Like, I just feel like on one hand, it's like Christian artists need to do more and do better.
But what can they do?
I mean, Israel could put out some music. And I think he was nominated in the Grammys for something, a song. But he's married and he's living his life, so we might not get great music from him. Kirk Franklin's been moving around, throwing singles here and there, but he's not doing an album or hasn't done an album. But I think it shows where the bar is, and I think there's a lot of opportunity. And I wish, and I don't know, maybe the Dove Awards, I don't know whenever those are, we might get some more options.
Yeah, I mean, because like you have the Stellar Awards, and there's another one too that awards gospel, contemporary Christian, all that good stuff.
I'm not sure.
Well, no, the Stellar, I mean, because the Mary sisters used to clean up at the Stellars, Yolanda Adams, that group, Travis Green, all of those people. So I'd be interested to see how they.
No, the Dove Awards aren't until October 2022. So
and that'll be the Stellars.
The Stellar Awards. Let's see. It's 2019. Like, they ain't even got one for this year. No, it's March. Wait. No, that's an Easter special. What the mess?
Okay.
July 10th, it looks like. It'll be July 10th. Nope, this is old. I don't even know if they're having one this year.
They're not having one.
It looks like if they are having one, it has not been announced. They got a Stellar Awards tour, concert tour dates. Looks like
what?
Yeah, I don't know what's happening with the Stellar Awards. So I think that's indicative of why we have the award shows done in such a way. But it was disappointing to kind of see him monopolize the categories. It shows me that Billboard is run strictly by the numbers, and by the numbers, he had a phenomenal year, but you would think that would align with the Grammys since they should be pulling from like the same charts and stuff. But I don't know. We did not get that. So awards are awards. Speaking of Mr. Ye West, in news when we have been off of him for a while, he has made the decision to drop out of Coachella after initially saying he was going to do it a few months ago.
Loser.
And we view this a little differently, but we have a very common thought process as well. So I will allow you to share your thoughts and opinions on his decision to drop out a week and a couple days before he is set to take the stage.
I don't know. High level, if it's for mental health reasons, creative differences, like a legitimate reason, then okay, I'll give you a pass. I'm still pissed. Like, I think it's awful. way to conduct business. But sometimes you got to stand on your moral principles, your ground, or whatever. Now, if we find out later it's some foolish reason, like Billie Eilish still never apologized to Travis Scott, so he really decided that he wasn't going to perform, I'm going to be blown. Like, he's already got so many things going on that are just negatively reflecting on who he is, his legacy, all of that. So to pull out of Coachella a week before the performance, like, it's just an awful strike against you considering everything else that you're trying to do. And I don't know. I'm of the mindset sometimes you just have to eat it and do it because the bigger picture overall is more important than this one thing. So I can't say without, and then that's the part. He hasn't said anything yet. He hasn't made a statement. And we went from him being everywhere, sick of him on social media, to complete radio silence. And at this point in time, we need for him to be honest and open and all these things. And his Instagram is still black. And we don't know who's using his Twitter because it's not getting used. We keep hearing all these tidbits of information from this anonymous source. I just want to know why. And then, barring, like I said, some idiotic reason as to why he's chosen not to perform, I can give him a pass. But I think the longer that he waits to say anything, especially if after Coachella is said and done with and the replacement sucked, like, because The Weeknd, like, everybody likes Swedish House Mafia, people like The Weeknd, but by all accounts, his performance in 2018 was trash.
And the Super Bowl performance.
And yeah, his Super Bowl performance was not it.
Forgettable, to say the least.
Yeah, it wasn't giving what it was supposed to give. So for him and Swedish House to be replacing, I mean, hate him or love him, it was going to be a good performance. It's underwhelming, to say the least. So Kanye definitely, and then all the people who decided to buy tickets to go to Coachella because he was performing, like, he owes those people some words, some acknowledgement, something.
Okay. So your last point is valid. All your points were valid. I disagree with a lot of them, and I had an epiphany while you were talking.
Oh, man.
So, yes, you're right. There are a lot of people who, when they found out that it was rumored that Mr. Ye West would be attending Coachella, they got excited. And in that excitement, it was confirmed and tickets were released. And tickets were bought. And then Kim Kardashian decided she wanted to start doing the most, which led to Mr. Ye West going above and beyond to do even more. And this, this graphic back and forth via the media and social media took place for months to come. And then other people started to chime in and give their takes. And as a man, if you're going to speak on me, I'm going to speak back. One of those men is Trevor Noah, who conveniently came out, was critical for Mr. Ye West. Mr. Ye West and Mr. Ye West Forum responded. And it was a scathing take. There were some names called, some slurs used, rightfully or wrongfully so. And about a week and some change before his performance,
it got pulled.
The Grammys decided, you're not coming. And so,
well, they didn't decide he wasn't coming. They said, you're not performing. You can come, just,
you know what I mean.
I get what you're saying, but
They're in essence one and the same. And so those same fans were excited to see him perform his album on a big stage.
Mm-hmm.
Those fans were robbed of that opportunity because somebody decided they can't see it because of what he did. And so if I ate that, it's really hard for me to be upset when that artist in turn gives the middle finger back to the institution in a very similar fashion. So yes, as a fan, as a stan, as a whatever, I think it would have been amazing to see Ye at Coachella. We have not heard about his Rolling Loud performance, and those tickets might be on fire now if people can confirm if he's actually going to perform.
Yeah, that's the big part.
So the other part to this is you don't get to pick and choose when it comes to an artist. Either you want an artist for the artist they are, or you don't want an artist for the artist they are.
So can I pull your card real quick?
Sure.
We've had this conversation a bunch of times before
mm-hmm.
about the artist, what they do versus the fan expectation.
Mm-hmm.
And your previous standpoint was, regardless of anything that's going on, the artist owes it to their fans to be basically on performance all the time, available for my consuming pleasure because I'm spending X amount of dollars. I should have access. I should be able to do this because this is the platform that you've chosen to live your life through. So as your fan, you shouldn't, I'm your highest priority, biggest concern.
Okay.
In your, comments about Kanye just now, you're putting a lot of his decision or whatever this you want to call it to not do Coachella. It's everybody else's fault besides his. Because at the end of the day, he could choose to ride above all the drama, everything that everybody's saying, all the negativity and everything, and go and kill the Coachella stage and laugh in everybody's face like, ha ha, I'm still dope.
So I don't think the two things are the same. My issue with celebrity, and I think what you're talking about is maybe autographs or something, or like being available to the people.
Access to, you feel like I'm paying all this money to see you. I support you.
Mm-hmm.
So if I come to a show, it better start on time. It better not get canceled at the last minute. Like there are all these things.
Never said that.
There are all these things.
We know if you go to a Ye show, he's going to be late. We know if you go to a Lauryn Hill show, she's going to be late if she ever shows up. We knew most versuses will start. I would say as an artist, I believe you owe it to your fans. I'm trying to remember because I do remember the conversation, but I think the context was different. Like I don't expect an artist to sign every autograph every time they go out.
No, yeah, for sure.
But I think they should sign some. So my issue with this would be, or my stance on this is why the reason it's different is one, because of the way the media has treated him for the last 6 to 8 months.
I mean, the media has treated him like trash for a really long time. This isn't the first time.
This is different.
Because it's a divorce and marriage and kids.
They're criticizing him not on his music or his accolades, but as a dad, as a spouse, as things that are really important to him.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it seems to be birthed out of lies because even in all of that fear, we've seen his kids and him and Kim together.
Yeah.
So for him to be a stalker and him to be an abuser and him to be all of these really, really gross negative terms, that ain't what we see when you actually see what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And someone, I believe Kim's publicist, who we've had conversations about,
yeah,
drives that narrative. Because who else is putting who are all these sources that are always talking to only these two outlets, Page Six and TMZ? Mm-hmm. So someone is saying, just like they said, he went away. But then we saw him in the studio with Future. We saw him at a soccer game. And we've seen him with the girl. He just sent her some bags or whatever, whoever the girl is dating now. Shanae. And now we had a tweet from Fabio saying that he's on an island, relaxing, clearing his mind, and healing from all the stress of society. He appreciates the support for the album and the response, and that's because he executive produced Fabio's album. Go get that. Spend that if you have. It is not what you think. It is really, really, really well done. So that's why I would say his situation is really different. Had the Grammys not done what they did, I don't think he does the same thing to Coachella. I just don't. I could be wrong. But I think the way the Grammys went about it was kind of that straw where he's already been pushing back against the STEM player and Apple Music and all of them saying, you want my next album, this is the only way you're going to get it. Mm-hmm. He's been preaching, and I don't want to go to this extreme, but really like a Black inclusive society and alienating non-Black people to a certain extent. I don't think he hates white people or anything like that, but I think he's fed up with dealing with Nike and how they treated him, Adidas and some of the things that they've done, which is why we've seen him wearing Nike clothes, the Gap thing where he said, I need board seats, the Amazon issue, the app, like he's had issues with a lot of the Louis Vuitton. His song in his new album is Wayne and Louis no more now that Virgil's gone. Like he's attacked a lot of the biggest in that culture saying we need to claim our own, we being Black people. Yeah. So that mindset to me is saying Coachella, which is run by a white man, forget you. Y'all want to play me on the Grammys? Here's what I got. Now y'all scramble. Figure it out.
So.
And I do believe something is coming.
I was going to say, so that's my next question. Because we're seeing so many more festivals, so many more people really changing the way that they do performances. And we do, like, Rolling Loud's not just here, it's in like 6 other countries.
All over the place.
You've got Afro beats, and that takes place in a few major cities. The thing that me and Sierra went to last year, there are so many different.
You can say the name of it. You don't remember it?
No, I don't.
I didn't go to it. You keep going.
There's so many different. There's festivals, mainstream, opportunities for live music from Black artists. Most artists now, like, they have a tour or
Celebros, those called
Celebre.
I don't know how you say it. You went to it.
Whatever, but okay. That's beside the point. Maybe that's my train of thought. There are so many people that are like, okay, I know where I can make my bread and butter. I'm going to throw my own show. We just watched J. Cole's Dreamville Festival. I am going next year. I don't care what happens. I'm going. You want to come? Get on board. But Drake had OVO Fest. Jay-Z had Made in America. Like, there are so many different things. Do you feel that Kanye is going to do something along those lines now? Because another one of the narratives from the pulling out of Coachella was they would not let him do whatever it is that
creatively he wanted to do.
And this isn't the first time that they've been through these issues. How do you eliminate that problem? Throw your own show.
So I look at 3 things. I look at another name you missed that was big, and we don't want to bring it up to, and hopefully we don't offend anyone, but Astroworld's another massive artist-driven festival.
Yeah.
So Travis Scott was also scheduled to attend. We know what Astroworld represents in its scale and magnitude. We had OVO Fest. We understand what that represents in its scale and magnitude. We also saw what the Larry Hoover concert did. So to me, I've seen him work with Drake and put on a show. I've seen him do listening sessions, sold out stadiums. Mm-hmm. And then I saw him about to bring Travis Scott back, who also has his own fest. I watched Nicki Minaj do an interview with Joe Budden and say she's trying to get into marketing and get into media and starting her own stuff. I think it's very easy to see when Jay Prince said we should have our own Grammys and Nicki co-signed, Quavo co-signed. All these people intermingle. Quavo was on Fabio's album for 2 songs. Mm-hmm. Nicki and Fabio did quite a few songs together. Like, it's all intermingled. So could I envision a fest with all of those people, the Wayne, like Jay-Z's, Beyond, like, could you imagine a festival with a Rock Nation festival, any of those, like a Cash Money, Rockefeller, Bad Boy festival, like a good like Push has an album, like there's so many possibilities. And I think now we live in a day where the Diddy, the Jay, the Beyonce, the Ye, the Drake, they have so much money.
What do I spend it on?
No, not even that, but they also have so many corporate sponsors and backers. Mm-hmm. I could easily see them hosting their own festival and it being bigger than Rolling Loud and having a much better tap into hip hop culture. So I think it exists, and I think there's a possibility, and I would love to go. I just don't know what the VIP tickets would cost.
Jesus.
But I think the mindset, and I think this is where they would run into the issue, is I don't think Ye's mindset and maybe even Drake's mindset would be, we got to get, because we have the biggest artists in the world, that all normally demand, say, Ye was supposed to get $8 million for Coachella.
Yeah.
They probably, for them to pay that many big artists $8 million, the ticket price would be nuts. But if we have a comparable ticket price, but all these massive artists who don't really need more money can still put on a show, and then they make money on other ways, whether it be NFTs or whatever, they can do. I'm sure every company in the world would sign up to try and get branding at their event. I think it would be a huge opportunity. I just don't know if that will work in the short term, but I would love to see it. And I do believe at some point we'll hear it, but I think you got me off my point. My point was, when you have an artist, you got to take all of the artists. If you want an explanation now, don't get mad when he's on social media doing what he's doing. It's all or nothing with a lot of these people. Mm-hmm. And so I personally have missed him from social media. Social media has been pretty dry, and they've been dragging this Will Smith thing for the longest time because we haven't had anything else to talk about. The Kardashians had their new little trailer rollout, and what's the boy's name she's dating, the white boy? Pete showed up in the tux. Nobody cares. Like, they've had their rollouts. There's other stuff that'll come up. Nobody cares. You know what was trending? Joe Budden talking about BTS. Like, that's what social media has been because we have no Ye. So for all these, get me out of the group chat, I'm so sick of hearing about all the stuff. Well, this is what we're left with. And it's boring. And it kind of sucks. And I'm really over it. And I hope Jada Pinkett never says another word because I'm so sick of hearing about her. Like, I can't stand the woman. I thought I hated Pete Davidson, but God, she's so much worse. Man. But I think when you have these artists and you have these personalities, you just got to take the good and the bad. And typically the good's going to outweigh the bad. And praying for Ye, and I think he's just relaxing. He seems fine from the stuff I've seen. I follow a bunch of different fan pages. He seems like he's having a great time. Future says he's going to be on his album. He says his verses are dope. The Game and everybody else he's changing the world as usual. But I'm not going to fan this out on the Ye topic. But yeah, that's all I got. You can say whatever you got to say, and then we can get up out of here for the people.
I mean, You know how I feel about live music. If it's somebody that I really like, I'm going to go. So let's say J. Cole expanded Dreamville Festival and made it 3 days full of even more artists that I know and love. I mean, I'm going to go. I'm going to pay what I have to pay, and I'm going to go. All other really big fans are going to do the same thing. But if it's a week before the show and a major artist changes the trajectory of the show, I just need an explanation why. Like, that's why I won't buy Lauryn Hill tickets. Like, that would be
foolish at this point.
I know it would, but sometimes she shows up, and when she shows up, she's phenomenal. Or she shows up and she sucks. Like, the level of inconsistency that she offers people that love her, I hate it. But so I love her music.
Your point earlier when I said about what artists owe, she's an example.
She is. She's 100% an example. But I still listen to her music. And she's done like 4 or 5 really good songs in the last couple of years. But if she, went on tour tomorrow, I would probably wait till the day before, if not the day of, to try and get tickets to go and see her. But she would be on my list of top 10 people I would want to see in my lifetime.
Wow.
Like, that's how much her music has made an impact on me. But she sucks as a performing artist. So that's all. I just want Kanye to explain to the people, why he made them spend their money just so that...
He didn't make them spend their money.
I mean, he heavily influenced people into spending their money on Coachella.
And had people left him alone, we would be getting the show.
I don't know if that's true. He was threatening to pull out because of Billie Eilish.
And we don't need to go. We're not going to go back to that. So yeah, thank you for all your support. Thank you for your continued growth. We are episode 56 down. A whole lot more to go. Definitely, if you haven't liked, share, and subscribe, we have not, I don't know why you just did that. We have not gotten to our 100 subscribers. We really want to get to that before the end of next week when we have a surprise for you all. So definitely stay tuned.
Big announcement. Let's just say big announcement coming Monday. With our next podcast, expect a huge announcement from the Bonds about something that we've been working on. We're super excited. Like, it's just gonna be all good, all love, all gravy. What is that?
Whipping my hair back and forth.
Oh yeah, okay.
It should be dope. So please continue to like, share, and subscribe, comment, give us your feedback. We love to hear from y'all, love to engage with you all. Exciting times. Hopefully you enjoyed this recap of the dumbest award show in a long time with a bunch of idiots that don't know what they're talking about, who need to have their voting rights taken away. But also congratulations. And I know we didn't get to do it, and I apologize. Jasmine did win for Best R&B Album. And I got off on the John Batiste tangent, but she did win. And that was a phenomenal album. And congratulations to her and all that she went through. And even, I don't know if you saw the video backstage of her congratulating her. She was like more excited than even Jasmine was. Like, that's the kind of person that her is. Absolutely love her. So I still love our culture. I just really hope we get to a place where we don't need these jokers and their trash award shows that they don't know what they're talking about. But to the winners, congratulations. Run the price up. Spend that bag. You deserve it. You earned it. And in life, things happen. You have the power to choose what you do. Always choose wisely and bet on you. If you have been blessed by this episode, go ahead and be a blessing to us. Go ahead and take care of that down there. Still got a bunch of kids that we are trying to feed. And we don't want to look like those people on some low budget commercial with flies flying around because we need resources.
What commercial are you talking about?
You know, the ones that we're trying to depict. The fake Africa, not the one from that TV show you've been watching.
Oh man, we got to talk about it, but you got to watch it too. So
I'm probably not going to watch it.
I mean, you got to watch some of it so that you can talk about it with me.
No, okay.
Just a little bit.
Maybe not. But thank you again. Stay tuned. Have an enjoyable week. Look forward to some great announcements coming.